Decentralized finance was built on a promise of trustless autonomy. But look under the hood of almost any major protocol, and you find human-operated infrastructure. The final authority often rests with human administrators. This chart breaks down why most platforms actually fail. Look at the bottom row. When you have administrative access, hidden founder accounts, and manual treasury controls, you introduce emotional panic and malice into a system that is supposed to be mathematical. Cortik addresses this by treating human intervention as a structural vulnerability. The protocol removes the human operator from the loop entirely to eliminate the risks of panic-driven decisions and administrative exploits. As long as an administrator has an off switch, a protocol is centralized. Real security requires a system to run continuously, completely unable to be paused or manipulated by any individual. This diagram outlines Cortik's structure. It operates as a living, on-chain organism on the Polygon network. Instead of a management team, 5 specialized AI smart contracts govern the ecosystem in a continuous 24-hour loop. 5 mines run the protocol. The recycle core routes all fees. The liquidity stabilizer defends CTK's price. The emission engine strictly executes supply decisions. The mint guardian checks ecosystem health before allowing new mints. And the longevity predictor forecasts treasury health to prevent deficits. 5 distinct contracts evaluating the same ecosystem from different angles. They must reach mathematical consensus to execute any major protocol function, creating an architecture that operates entirely free of human interference. If a decentralized protocol guarantees a return without relying on an endless stream of new user deposits, the capital has to be generated somewhere. This is where Cortik deploys a submodule, the CLS portfolio engine. It acts as an autonomous institutional trader, managing capital devoid of human emotion. This screen details the engine's validation. It allocates capital based on 10 years of market data across every major cycle. The engine constantly reads on-chain flows and macro volatility to dynamically shift the treasury between Bitcoin and Ethereum, holding conviction through deep drawdowns. When the engine generates profit, it routes the capital into 2 distinct channels. A portion goes to the treasury reserve to fund user staking rewards, while the rest enters the buyback reserve to actively defend the price of CTK. The protocol achieves financial sustainability through algorithmic capital allocation, breaking the dependency on continuous user acquisition. Users interface with this external revenue through a precise, lock-based staking system. This table outlines the core staking plans. Time committed translates directly to yield. At the bottom row, the maximum 720-day lock generates a 0.40% daily reward and caps out at 6 times the max total. These rewards process autonomously, calculating and compounding at the conclusion of every 24-hour epoch. For volatile conditions, Cortik uses bond staking. This chart details how the protocol capitalizes on market drawdowns by allowing users to enter in USDT while securing an algorithmic discount on CTK. When the CTK price drops below its smart target, depositing stablecoins immediately triggers this discount mechanism. A maximum lock secures up to 15% more tokens before any yield is calculated. Beyond standard staking rewards, this matrix lists the 5 distinct streams of income available within the ecosystem, each rewarding a different form of network participation. By enforcing deep, locked commitment, the protocol converts market volatility into a guaranteed mathematical advantage. In legacy DeFi systems, raw capital size often dictates protocol direction. Cortik restricts this flaw by measuring behavioral alignment alongside the size of a user's deposit. This grid displays the 15 network tiers. By combining a user's personal stake with the volume generated by their network, the system calculates and distributes higher differential yields. Scaling these tiers also depends on the Cortik Pulse score, a quantitative measure of how well a user's actions benefit the ecosystem. Here is the primary metric driving that score, the gateway recycle rate. The protocol continuously monitors exact user behavior immediately after a withdrawal occurs. If an account extracts capital without reinvesting, their score drops to 0. If they immediately restake those withdrawals into new locked positions, they earn maximum points. Maintaining a score above 600 is the hard-coded requirement for accessing the highest-yielding component of the platform, the intelligence pool. You don't have to trust that users will act benevolently. the math ensures that the most profitable action for an individual is also the exact action that ensures the protocol's long-term survival, conviction rather than human sentiment. The token system shown here defines how users participate. The architecture utilizes two distinct assets, CTK for market value and GCTK to verify your engagement. While CTK is the primary value token, GCTK is non-transferable. It acts as an on-chain proof that you are a genuine participant in the ecosystem. This staking table illustrates the incentive structure. Users who lock their CTK into the protocol for extended periods are rewarded with higher daily percentages, allowing the AI to work with a more stable capital base. This entire architecture is active and verifiable today. Here we see the live CTK token trading data on DEX Screener. The protocol is actively managing its liquidity, and every transaction is publicly verifiable on the Polygon network right now. The system is executing its core programming minute by minute, sustaining its own independent economy without any human intervention. While the intelligence is active, the protocol follows a strict evolutionary timeline to achieve total self-sufficiency. The critical milestone on the roadmap is Phase 4, designated as permanence. At this stage, the revenue generated by the CLS portfolio engine scales to become the primary driver of the ecosystem. As the roadmap states, this makes the treasury independent of new deposits. Reaching this threshold transforms the system into a self-sufficient entity that no longer requires fresh capital to generate yield. To keep the system aligned with its users, the governance layer, Cortik AI, connects the community to the artificial intelligence. CTK holders possess specific voting power. You can vote to calibrate the protocol, adjusting reward flows or risk sensitivity, but cannot change fundamental logic. The 5 smart contracts are strictly immutable. No vote, market pressure, or founder can alter how the brain thinks. Cortik AI represents the next stage of DeFi by surgically removing the primary source of failure, human control. To see the full scope of this architecture, review the complete white paper. Explore the system built by intelligence to run as intelligence.